Good morning and greetings from Texas, where I'm visiting my daughter and her family, including our new grandson. And that's why I could not be with you today. But I am so grateful for Pastor Carol's invitation to give a reflection on the life of a very, very dear man, Curt Johnson. Curt made sure back in 2002, when we were talking about me coming down here to be the priest at Lamb of God Church and settling all the details, he made sure that we felt very, very taken care of, but not just taken care of, but prayed for. When Curt Johnson said he was praying for you, you knew he was doing it. It just permeated your being, knowing that he was praying for you. And he and Carol made sure that we had every opportunity, everything we needed to settle in here, get to know the church, get to know the area. I remember one of the early dinners we had before we moved down. We sat down as sort of like, that what is this all about? How's it going to work out? Strangers. And we arose 3 hours later as friends. So since 2002, I have considered knowing Curt Johnson a privilege. And I was so glad to have my first real long-term ministry at the church where he and Carol were parishioners, because they're phenomenal parishioners. Curt was always willing to help me think through everything that needed to be thought through. He was funny, he was sweet, but most of all, he was really intelligent. He had a particular way of being able to assess a situation and not just decide what was wise for that moment, but what would stand for the long term, what would be good for the future. And that especially was important when he and Dick Rockstro and I were working on pulling together the agreements between Lamb of God Lutheran and Lamb of God Episcopal churches to federate, and then also with the synod and the diocese. And their clear-eyed wisdom and optimism, most of all the optimism. Curt Johnson was just such an optimistic man. Whatever tough thing you threw at him, he would say, well, now how are we going to get through this? What are our choices? And we found ways through it, no matter how tough. And he was also someone who was unflappable. Whatever was facing us, he would find the humor in it, the way forward, the faithful way forward, the faithful way of looking at people who disagreed with you. And when I announced that I was going to be taking my own church up in Dunedin, Curt prayed for me then too, and congratulated me, and was wonderfully supportive. So Curt is a model of Christian life for us all, including me. I am very grateful that he has been part of my life. I have remembered him often during my ministry, and even now that I'm retired, can still hear his voice and his wisdom, and I think I can even still feel his prayers. So as he is now in the nearer presence of God, I celebrate that, and I also ask God to give dear Carol strength and comfort. God bless you all.